Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up.
I'm feeling a little loose over here. Feeling a little loose. A little stirred up. A little pukey today.
Oh, a little pukey. And it wasn't my driving, she confirmed.
No,
She also said it didn't help.
My cousins were in town. You know how that goes. You know how we do.
I do know
when the cousins are in town.
I do know deeply.
You go hard. Those are my people. The kids blew us up on TikTok because they think we're pedophiles.
No, they weren't kids. They were like old people who needed to like save people who didn't need to be saved is what it boiled down to.
I did not need to be saved.
I had multiple people who texted me and were like, you were totally right about
Reef
the
goes,
kids
take it down now.
Yeah.
Which is fair. The whole family,
it was a fair like assessment because it's taken out of context, but anybody who listened to the episode was like totally unfazed. And like the people who I trust the most to make that judgment beyond you and I.
Yeah. They'd be honest with us.
Totally.
You and I were, okay, so welcome to Stirred Up.
Welcome to Stirred Up.
I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Today is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Which is not a celebration.
No.
It is a remembrance. Oh. Look at us fucking over here.
We had a miscommunication earlier where Heather thought that I didn't know what Memorial Day was all about.
I was like, oh my God.
she started to take
the wrong business partner.
No, she started to take notes. She's like, gonna talk about that on the podcast.
What were you talking actually about though?
I don't know.
It wasn't your understanding of Memorial Day.
Yeah, it was like other stuff.
Yeah. So today is Memorial Day. We've taken a week off. A lot has happened. Long story short, I put my best buddy to sleep. Shout out to Dr. Lindstrom and the Isabella Cat Clinic and Four Paws Pet Rehabilitation and M20 Animal Hospital and MedFet in Detroit and Pool Veterinary Services. This man has been all the places, and everyone did the best they could with the information that they had. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, with bone cancer, information changes quite quickly. Mm-hmm. So put my best buddy down. So we canceled because I was in a manic, not good spot. My son did tell me, Mama, you're a strong woman.
Oh, did that make you cry? Inside, I'd cry. It gives me like feels.
I thought, fucking about time.
Amen, sister.
I was like, put some respect on my name. Yeah, bitch. I
finally
birthed you when I was 22 years. I wasn't even graduated from college. Yeah. Literally and figuratively.
That's sweet. I
have a vag of steel and hopefully so that was cool. That was cool. All kidding aside, it was cool.
Yeah. Full circle moment. Makes you feel good. Proud of mom.
Proud of my kid. Reeve didn't want to be around. He stayed home, threw a major fit about needing to go to school to play his game. Gave Harry a hug and dipped.
Yeah.
Sis and Bennett were there the whole day. Bennett put him in his casket, buried his dog with his dad. So that was fucking traumatizing.
Right.
Mike built him a fucking literal cedar it's a casket for a human dog.
Bigger than this table.
It weighed over 200 and some pounds, all said and done. Well, Mike pulled the Suburban up onto the yard because they put him down on the front porch. Mm-hmm. He was eating mint chocolate chip ice cream when he died. Aww. I had to call the neighbor, Daddy, and I just literally opened the front door and I go, Heather! I said, hey, neighbor man, I need you to load my dead dog in the car. He literally still had his suit on from work. I did. I said, hey, neighbor daddy. That's what I call him. Neighbor daddy.
I need you to load my dead dog in the car.
I did. He literally unbuttoned his dress shirt and fucking put his Crocs on. Or something. And he did. So that happened. And then it's coming for Circle. We've talked about this in the car. I'm really going to go take a hard right here. More and more people are watching our show.
Yes. Hey, I actually have some news I wanted to tell you on air. We had our largest growth in YouTube subscribers last week. What? So just in 1 week alone, we had 100 new YouTube subscribers. So thanks for subscribing.
Yeah. So that's coming with a couple things Jess and I were talking about in the car. I got some grievances.
Okay.
We have now been called on the internet. So with the familiarity comes judgment.
For sure.
Which is fine.
Yeah, like bring it on.
There's a couple parts of the judgment that are pissing me enough off, not for self, but pissing me off enough just in general that I just want to have the conversation. So some of it is pissing me off. Then part of it's like, I get it. So the first part of this is what I was saying to you in the car is, I'm actually not someone who is good at small talk. Mm-hmm. Enjoys it. Mm-hmm. I don't shoot the shit.
Yeah. But you have meaningful conversation, and you can have a lot of meaningful conversation. You can be talkative. It's not like you're so introverted that like it's so exhausting that you can't hang with 400 people in a room. Like you can roll.
I can roll.
And you need to recover. I know. But
big time recover.
Yeah.
And I'm really but
you can roll.
I can roll.
But it can't be bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I think when people are running into me, mm-hmm. I feel like sometimes like I'm letting people down some because I think because
they listen to the podcast and that's how they know you.
Expect me. That's how I am all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I am, contrary to popular belief, not hammered all the time. Not screaming the F word all the time.
Just
and generally pretty silent and generally do a lot of things alone. Uh-huh. I'm very happy to be in a room of people but be alone.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that there's 50 people around. Just don't really want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I like their energy. So that's one thing I'm running into. Like I'm disappointing to people.
Well, hold on. I do want to react to that then, I guess.
I thought she'd be more fun.
Yeah, you're putting that expectation on yourself.
I'm not that fun. I'm kind of nerdy and I'm fun. If you know me, I'm fun.
You're so fun, but you don't have to be performing all the time until we get paid for events and then like, bitch, turn it on.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really feel like we owe anything to anybody. You don't owe anything to anybody. You're not ever letting anybody down in that regard. They have the opportunity to walk up to you and talk to you, and they can engage in the talk.
Yeah.
And they can see you turn on because you can, if someone's going to come and bring the bullshit that I give you too.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll turn on.
Oh yeah. I'll play a good game of I played cornhole for 5 hours with my dad and my uncles. You know what I mean? Like my cousins, I can do it, but I do feel like a little bit.
But now you can look around the room and see, oh, that's my chicken. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Yeah, we got 2 roosters now. But I wanted the windows up and I think it's worth it.
Gorge.
So that's the stirred up nature of listening to this pod. We've got the chickens out. So I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to respond to that. I'm trying to remember particularly my train of thought, but you're feeling the eyeballs on you more than you ever have. I'm not that's fine. The eyeballs don't, but I want to But the pressure behind the eyeballs, or you want to choose.
I want to choose.
And then
that's
you're
not
not
going, that's not how it works.
So I don't know. There's something to sit with there.
And we're talking about like 2 or 3 people a week. I have fans outside the house.
No, you do get recognized in the public, but I don't go in the public, so I don't get
They're like, oh, she's not as fun as I thought she'd be. The other thing is that there are a lot of judgments been coming. We got called vulgar, and we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago, and you cut it out because we're going to bring it back. But like even my own husband, who I would argue is one of the least. mean, he's a dude.
He's not offended. He's not offended by what you're saying.
He's not easily offended.
Yeah, and he's not personally offended by the things you say.
No, but it makes him uncomfortable.
But it affects him.
It makes him uncomfortable.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I don't really care. If you're not tuning in, then he's not uncomfortable. I think what makes him uncomfortable is he knows that other people also are going to give a label like vulgar.
Yeah.
So been DM'd that.
Uh-huh.
We're vulgar.
Yep.
Twice now. One said vulgar and one said disgusting.
Thank you, sirs. I think both were sirs. Maybe one. Maybe just one.
But like I was talking about this earlier. Like to me, vulgarity is like...
Well, let's address
speech.
Let's address...
Vulgarity is bathroom talk. I don't talk about bathrooms. You will never get on this podcast. I mean, I didn't even say POOP, the real word, until after I had children.
Oh my God.
You shit your pants, you take a shit. You don't talk about it. That's vulgar. Bathroom talk is vulgar. My sister thinks it's hilarious.
I use the clinical talk, BM. How's your BMs today?
Yeah, I will have that conversation. Like that book that says everyone shits. No, we don't. No, we don't. You know how I feel about bathroom? Like, that's vulgar. Mm-hmm. Hate speech is vulgar.
But let's reflect on what we've been talking about. We're talking about feminine hygiene.
Not vulgar. Important.
And we're using, like, cooters and trimming. So we're using, like, we're being funny about it. We're funny words about, but we're talking about feminine hygiene. So when we started to discuss this,
and the F word is vulgar? Vulgar.
True. Okay. Good point. All right. So let's call out.
Is that really vulgar? Because that is how I was raised. It was not vulgar in my house to tell someone to fuck off.
Yeah.
My work team says the F word.
I mean, you're Italian, and I've my experience with the Italians are like, they get off, after it. All right. So let's have the conversation.
So vulgar. We're vulgar.
Because we say fuck.
And we talk about vages.
I did have somebody at work tell me like a story, and he said,
like, we make people uncomfortable.
He's like, based on your podcast, I don't think you're going to be offended by this, but he was called a pussy. And I was like, oh, it's okay. You can be called a pussy. I mean, the rest of the story is like a whole other thing.
I prefer a vag of steel. Pussy will do. I just, at some point, we have to take the stick out of our ass.
And to each their own. Like, if that bothers you, then don't be here.
Right? That's our show. Vulgar really bothered me because I'm not vulgar. Uh-huh. If I was vulgar, I would own it.
So
I say the F word?
I do want some feedback by the people who have given us all the, because this is also like
vulgarity,
2 comments and a growing audience. So we're doing something right. People do like it, but with the growing audience comes some hate, and I think that will only come in numbers. Call it success. So, ladies, and I see you and I know you, and we've given you the shout outs, and I talked to you this weekend. Yeah. All the people who give us the love.
That you get your ass ate too.
Tell me.
And if you're not,
like, on a scale, okay, give me the scale of vulgarity. On a scale of like,
what is vulgarity to you? I need to know that.
Yeah, like, help us paint the scale.
It's not going to change for me.
What is even vulgar?
I mean, I would be like,
should I address the TikTok thing this week?
When your dad says something as a grown man, like, shut your dick sucker, that's vulgar.
Oh, yeah?
This is not a Nickelodeon channel.
Yeah, there's explicit label.
I am not talking this way with my children around the counter. Now, you could say my 17-year-old is a little irritated at times because his mom's showing up on his For You page. Again.
Mom,
go and brush your shoulders off. Sorry, Lou. That mama loves you most.
That's really funny.
And again, I think about that a lot because Mike has said that to me before.
Yeah. Like how it affects your children.
How it affects everyone who is around me. And
anybody.
But then I think to myself,
like,
you motherfuckers.
You say the same things. That's what I'm saying. It's just because we're moms and women. It's the same story of like, when superstars were becoming moms and then going up on stage, or like when Kim Kardashian became a mom and then she's like wearing nothing on her Instagram and people are giving her hate, like, oh, you can't be a mom and be sexy too. Like, no, I can't be sexy, I promise you, but I can be vulgar. That's what you need me to be.
wear a crop top and say the F word, motherfuckers. So vulgar. I've been called a lot of things in my life, and so this is what's new. And you have been. I wrote a couple down.
Okay.
Opinionated.
Oh, that makes us vulgar?
No, things that we've been labeled.
Oh, yeah, labeled.
And we're gonna say true or false.
Yeah.
Okay. Opinionated. True or false.
True.
Looking for a fight.
True.
True.
They might not be wrong.
True.
Whatever. Those boys at the bar today, I was like, a little bit on my defenses. Like,
Justin and I found a spot where you can still smoke in Michigan. Inside.
Shout out Marty's. And
Shout out to Marty's in Mount Pleasant.
Because the bird was closed.
The bird was closed.
But Marty's, I don't think closes.
Oh my God.
Anyways.
That was fucking wild in
It's
there.
a halfway decent burger. I make a better one, but.
My Reuben was disgusting.
So you picked it apart. Anyways, okay.
My cottage cheese was 10 out of 10.
Okay, well, they probably picked it up from Costco.
I'm the only person who eats the cottage cheese there, so either it's going to be brand new or out of the box, or it's going to be
100 years
spoiled
old.
the fuck. So,
okay, give me labels.
okay, too much,
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, like in that general vicinity. I have to like go to recalls, way throwbacks, but how about you? All of those things you've been called? Yeah.
I got told one time. You've heard this story. If you know me, you've heard this story to the point where you're rolling your eyes. So if you're, he said, the same gentleman said two things to me. The first thing he said to me is, don't tell many people around you here you have kids.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Oh, that pissed me off.
Yep.
I know that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
after I had put together like an entire marketing strategy in about 4 minutes and didn't go to MBA school. He said, "You're actually pretty smart, Heather Smith." And I said,
"Ooh,"
thanks.
And that was a boss, though, right?
He was a boss.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And I said,
I know that one too.
I said, "Thanks. I've been waiting for you to validate that for me." And I looked him dead in his fucking soul.
Bitches.
I also have wrote down Jessica's isms, Jessica sayings, but I came down with Jessica's.
You're not on the mic.
I came down with Jessica's.
Oh.
See, Jessica's.
I have a new word.
Jessica's. So my favorite thing, so Jess and I went on an adventure today. And my favorite thing that you said in this day to someone at the Dollar General. First of all, Jess and I go to the Dollar General in Sanford. Shout out to the Dollar General in Sanford. Shout out to the women. They're baller.
The one in Secord is prime time. But the one in Sanford that we visited today was good. I was really impressed with like organization, stocked, cleanliness, freshness of the DG in Secord Lake.
Oh, the Sanford DG is fucking piled with shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
But there was a whole community there of people like hanging out. Chit-chatting in the parking lot and inside. Like, this is so busy. There's so much going on.
They're having a Memorial Day parade.
Yeah, but they're still out there chit-chatting.
Chit-chatting.
It could be anywhere.
I gave away koozies. We got 2 hearted up at the DG.
We had a dude take our picture, and I thought he was going to fall down.
This lady goes to us, "Don't you got a Dollar General from where you're from?" And I go, "I'm from here." "Yeah, I do."
And she goes, "Why are you taking pictures then?" And then Heather, we're buying some Two Hearted. That's why we were there, to buy some Two Hearted. She goes, "Some fish on there? Does it taste like fish?" And I was like, yes. Actually, it does. It's an IPA. Of course,
Tastes
it
like
tastes like fish.
skunk ass. So good.
She was not impressed, but also was very funny. And
she was very friendly.
She got a koozie.
But Jessica says in the line, we didn't know what we were going to do for a beer opener. Mm-hmm. She was convinced she had one in her car.
I did not.
I thought you probably also did as well.
It's because my car is only a year old. I haven't had enough experiences in the car where I've acquired these.
Correct.
But,
So she tells the lady in line behind us, she goes, in a very Jessica way, like very on the spectrum, says, "Tay also thinks you're on the spectrum."
I think
She asked me a question about you. I don't remember what the question was, but it was like, does Jessica do something? And I really don't know what the question was. And I said, well, here's the thing about Jess. Like, I think she's on the spectrum. Like, basically what she was asking me is not the way your brain...
Was that question?
But it was not the way your brain... you don't calculate things that way. That's not even part of your...
Yeah.
Like, my point in saying that to her was like, she doesn't...
She was going there.
Yeah.
with the question.
Yeah.
And then you answered
and she goes, yeah, me too. So
not
anyways,
diagnosed, but
so
represented.
she's in line, and she's like all Jessica-like, looking fab. And she goes, I very often, when I travel, forget my toothbrush. But I never, if rarely, forget my bottle opener.
The lady said it first. She said she always has a bottle opener, and she described the exact bottle opener that I have. And I have it in my travel bag, but I never forget my
Jessica
toothbrush.
found her people up at the DG. She's like, I often forget my toothbrush when I travel.
True. It's such a problem right
But
now.
I don't forget my bottle opener.
Never.
So I was thinking about Jessica's isms.
Like isms.
But then I thought Jessica's, like a chair, like a nonprofit someday.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica's. Just because with Jessica's. I don't know. It's a segment. Jessica Says segments.
Speaking of like listener feedback too, some of the feedback is we had like some honest religion talk or like my lack thereof. So now occasionally that does come up with my friends and family for various reasons.
All right. So you're also getting
like
questions about what we've chose to air.
Yeah. Because I explained.
Your mom went to Jerusalem.
She saw the Holy Land. We were invited. I also went from a historical perspective. I mean, there's history. It's like interesting
Beautiful
stuff.
history. Jesus was real.
Right.
It's not a debate.
Yeah, deeply. Somewhat linked is a friend of ours I was chatting with her, and she explained that her son is going through a little bit of a spiritual journey himself and going to church.
And how old is this said son?
Like 12, I don't know, give or take.
He's 10, 11, maybe.
That's like the same thing. No. 10, 11, 12. And he's going to church, I think, with friends or something. I don't know. But like the family that he lives with is like his family is not religious. He's going with somebody else. For whatever reason, that somebody else was like unavailable on vacation. I don't know what the story was. I wasn't really actually paying attention until the end.
But he needed a ride to mass.
But he needed a ride to church. He was going to the local Lutheran church, which is like, not the Catholic church. I'm just going to say that. Everybody's welcome.
They'll let anybody in that motherfucker.
They
Don't
absolutely
be worried.
will.
One come all.
Yeah.
I think.
Totally. 100%. So
I remember the first time I went there, I'm like, why are you people not dressed up and standing up and sitting down?
Yeah, you can actually have a coffee. I wasn't even allowed to have gum.
Me neither.
At Catholic church.
My mom didn't even pack us snacks. Nothing.
Oh my God, never. No. The couple of times I did see kids with snacks, I'm like, you see the goldfish? We didn't sell goldfish at Owen's party store.
We had to beg my mom to get donuts after church. She'd never want to get them.
Oh, we'd always go
home.
We go to breakfast with my family. So that was like the reason for going.
Yeah.
But anyways, all that to be said, the friend telling the story what her son said she was going to take, she's, hey dude, I'll take you. It's cool. I'll take you to church. And she said something about like going in. I don't know how that came to be, but she said like something, I can walk you in or I'll go in. Or maybe she was going to go with him that day. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know.
I'm sure she said that.
She'd go in and go to church with him. And he goes, are you even allowed in? And she's my girl, so I can relate to that.
You're like, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so let's take a break and then we'll get into our content. Get into the real tea. Okay.
So what I'm learning about high fashion is runway music sounds the exact same way as like stripper music. So that was the first takeaway. I've been watching a lot of high-end fashion videos. Big fan. You don't know if you're going down the runway in a $10,000 pair of shoes or going up the pole in one. We don't know. We're doing our best. We tried our hardest.
That's the motto. We're just doing our fucking best.
So that was the Tory Burch Spring Summer 2025
Oh my gosh.
fashion show in New York City.
The opening.
Tory Burch is an American designer. Mm-hmm. Launched Tory Burch in 2009.
Okay.
I think
that's the designer's name, and that's the brand that she launched. Is she still alive?
She's alive.
Okay.
The company is, like I said, less than 25 years old. American fashion designer. So first and foremost, whoever does their marketing does a very phenomenal job. And I wouldn't even say their marketing, but their branding. So everything I was taught about building a brand, your purpose, your promise, your values, your abilities, and then telling that story. and feeding that into everything you do, from your product to your positioning to your people
It's
to the
well
planet.
integrated
They are
along the
well integrated. Probably some of the best of what I've seen. So Tory Burch, she is an American designer founded in New York City in 2004. It's defined in the name itself as a refined American luxury brand with a global point of view.
Okay.
The company's purpose from the start is to empower women and women entrepreneurs.
Oh.
So the very second line on their About Us on our website is empowering women. Giving back and supporting other women was part of the plan when Tory started this company in 2004.
Okay.
In 2009, she established, 5 years after the company was founded, she established the Tory Burch Foundation to advance women's empowerment and entrepreneurship, providing access to capital, education, and digital resources, and tackling stereotypes that hold women back. So she even gives money to vulgar women. And I sent you an article on LinkedIn. I sent you an article.
She even gives money to vulgar women.
I think so. I sent you an article on. I sent you an article on LinkedIn.
Okay.
How she has just substantiated or quoted or is confirmed that she will donate $1 billion. Like her goal is $1 billion in women funding.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't.
Where does she come from? Like, why does she get to have a designer?
Okay, so this is the interesting story about Tory Burch. So she has brothers and a mom and a dad, and her family was very stylish.
Are they like East Coast stylish? I feel like Hamptons.
So they actually grew up. So this is what here. So the company's obviously privately held. So I don't know what. But she, in the research of reading about her, one of the things that inspired her, and they talk about it in the brand story, is travel, this X and Y. And her family would travel to Greece and yada, yada, yada in the summer. So you know how I grew up.
Fancy
you know where I
fucking
grew
stuff.
up. Right, okay. She's the founder and the owner of the fashion label Tory Burch, LLC, and is presently serves as the executive chairman and chief creative officer.
Okay.
Both. She grew up in Valley Forge farmhouse. Her family was wealthy, and she studied at Eggs Irwin School. She later enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania. From there, she obtained a history degree, and graduated from college in '88. So, in context, the year you were, I was 4. You weren't born yet. So she's a good 20 years older. So she started to work at a mall. And after college, she relocated to New York, where she was hired by a Yugoslavian designer named Zoran, which I'm probably botching his name, but maybe not. And the next few years, she also worked for Harper's Bazaar, Vera Wang,
fancy,
Ralph Lauren Polo, and Lowe. I think Lowe Hotels, be my guess.
Yeah.
In 2004, she launched what was originally TRB by Tory Burch, which later became Tory Burch LLC. Her business grew a shit ton. And by 2018, she had 250 brick and mortar stores. So think about launch in 2009, launch in 2005, foundation in 2009, and now we're scaling to 250 stores worldwide. Her first store started out in Paris, and we can go back to that.
Okay. Started out in Paris, but she's an American brand. That's gives to both her wealth, access, but
Correct.
also what she's trying to position as a luxury brand.
By 2015, Forbes ranked her as the 73rd most powerful woman in the world. One of the powerful women in the world.
Forbes did?
Forbes did.
Because of her fashion influence.
A couple of big brand collabs. I'm a big fan of brand collabs, so I thought we could kind of switch to brand collabs a little bit. Interesting enough about Tory Burch, one of the first brand collabs she did was with Estee Lauder for fragrance. You'll see that a lot.
Okay.
Also, she started to create Fitbit bands.
Interesting.
So the luxury, she partnered with Fitbit Flex to create Fitbit brands. So she's done a lot of brand collabs, and she was the first ever to kind of take high fashion and combine it with technology, like fashion brand to introduce wearable technology, if that makes sense. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and whatever. So she was born in June. She was born in Valley Forge.
Wait, June what?
June 17th, 1966, in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania.
I'm June 6th.
She was one of 4 children, Reva and the late Ira Earl Bud Robinson. She and her 3 brothers were raised in a 250-year-old farmhouse, a Georgian-style farmhouse, nearby a historical park. Her family was affluent. Her father was a wealth advisor. He was the heir to the stock exchange seat and a paper cup company. From her mother's side, she is of Jewish descent. Okay, how many times has she been married?
4.
3.
Oh, I was going to say 7.
She married a real estate tycoon, Harry B. McElow's son, William McElow, to whom she was married for less than a year. Then she exchanged wedding vows with investor and businessman J. Christopher Burch. Their twin sons, Nicholas, Nick, and Henry, were born in 1997.
So Burch is her married name.
Yep.
Robinson, her maiden name?
They parted ways in 2006, and she has continued using his last name.
Okay.
She's now remarried. In November 2018, she signed the knot with Pierre Ives Russell. I don't fucking know how to say that. It's all part of the experience. And he was made the CEO at her fashion label in 2019.
Oh, really? Okay, so her husband is the CEO now. Oh, in 2019. When did they get married?
2018.
That's so interesting.
She's a philanthropist. I mean, she is. We'll talk about where her shit's made, and we need to do some more research on that.
Okay, hold on. I have a question. Just a theoretical question.
Love it.
In the spirit of Tory Burch, what makes a philanthropist and a successful business person? And maybe the answer isn't obvious, but sorry, hold on a second. Something's turning my ear. My question is what makes? Sometimes I feel like business people, especially right now, the environment that we're in right now, like the Elon Musk of the world, I don't know, but he doesn't appear to be a big philanthropist, right? Bill Gates, on the flip side, Bill Gates made an insane amount of money and is legendarily giving it away. He's going to give
it all away. He's going to shut his foundation down and give it away so they don't do bad things with it. He wants to be alive too.
Yep, I think that's really inspiring. But he didn't do that while he was building his
Some people
wealth.
think he's the Antichrist too, Bill Gates.
I know, and I have some thoughts about that. I just think that people are jealous, but I'm willing. Haters are gonna hate. When you're that big and important, you're going to have haters. And when you're doing something so good for the world, I have a hard time believing the haters with anything. But I'm willing to listen and learn. But I guess my question is, it's so interesting. She was born a wealthy person. She currently, obviously, still is a very wealthy person. I'm wondering what the business model looks like that is maintaining a wealthy brand and being a philanthropist. I think that's just unique and interesting that we don't see often.
I think a couple things. I think probably if you are affluent and you are living, if you are affluent, you are generally, first of all, she's from old money. And so I think old money has different values than new money.
Yeah. I mean,
part of old money's values, whether philanthropy was so you could feel really good about, what charity you're rubbing elbows at, or philanthropy really was because you're saving the sea turtles. Yeah. I don't know what the why is, but I think culturally, when you're affluent and you live in certain areas of this country, particularly East Coast, that's part of your job.
Yeah.
and I really, your job. It's part of your,
Rockefellers built hospitals.
Right. Right.
Not cities. The Rockefellers built hospitals. The Rockefellers built highways in some cases, right?
I also think it's part of your values and how you grew up, and I think it's different.
But I feel like it's changing, and I guess that's why I think about that.
She's a member of the Council of Fashion Designers of America, the Society of the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the Startup American Partnership, and the Barnes Foundation. She's also part of the advisory board for the J.H. Baker Retailing Center of the Wharton School of Business, as well as the Council on Foreign Relations. She served as the chairperson in 2007 for the Spring Gala for the American Ballet Theater. In 2009, she set up the Tory Burch Foundation, which provides financial support to women through small business loans, mentoring, and entrepreneurial education. In 2014, the foundation created Elizabeth Street Capital with the help of Bank of America so that low-cost loans, mentoring, support, and network opportunities would be able for women entrepreneurs.
That's really incredible.
In 2014, the Obama administration appointed her as an inaugural member of the Presidential Ambassadors for Global Entrepreneurship, consisting of successful business people. The group's mission is to foster the next generation of entrepreneurs in the U.S. and around the world. She collects art.
She collects art. Of course she does.
So let's talk about the brand a little bit. She traveled to Morocco. She traveled to Greece. That iconic logo is very much her name. It's very Moroccan by design, and those go on her. It is the brand logo, and it came from the geometry of Moroccan architecture and the bold graphics of David Hicks interiors from the 60s and 70s. This woman was born into lifestyle. She was born into culture. Her brand is inspired by culture and travel. She wrote a book about living your life in full color, character, beauty, and confidence. It was a New York Times best travel. Her values, love this. Company values, ready? It was her daddy's values. Our company culture, Buddy's values. Our ideals our company lives by, named after Tory Burch, whose father always treated everyone with kindness and respect. We show up, and I love values in action, because they're not just like kindness. No. We show up with honesty and kindness. We work with humility and passion. We act with integrity and compassion. We lead with excellence and humor. She has 3 boys, 2 twins. She's still a big belief in family. She's close to her brothers. I mean, she grew up in it is very Kennedy.
Totally-esque.
Gorgeous society. Yeah. High fashion. But I think she's one of those people who puts her money, beautiful people, but also is putting a little bit of her money where her mouth is. Okay. She has created, so what's TikTok talk about on Tory Burch? TikTok talks about the Miller sandal. Okay. The Miller sandal is basically like the Louis Vuitton with the big ugly logo purse that I have one of those. That's that. It's the Tory Burch logo on a leather flat sandal, and the internet craves them. Okay. I would say 95% of the internet says the Tory Burch staple, irregardless if it was in style and cool in 2000, in 2025, if you're an OG, you're an OG. It's a Burke. It's a staple. Okay. It's going in your beach bag. It's going on your boat. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. It's comfy. It wears well. Then 5% of the internet is hating, saying it's washed up and old and whatever.
I was going to say, because it is really basic.
It's basic. It's basic as fuck. But that was she creates. So part of her circularity, part of her sustainability is they built classic things that are timeless and last. And they also believe that's part of their strategy. It's not just how it's made or where it's made. It is what is the life cycle of the use. Not to say one's more important than the other, but that's something we don't talk about a lot. Yeah, okay, let's say someone is making something, not in Asia or not in China for $5 an hour, but it's something that like you're going to keep for a summer and throw it away. Yeah. So anyways, their shit lasts. So I think the takeaway on the Miller sandal is...
And it sounds like not only does it last, but there are ways to revive.
They've revived it. I mean, it goes from your classic tan, classic black, classic nude, classic whatever, to cute, adorable, sparkly, over-the-top, trendy, funky shit. So if you want the funky Miller, because you're just a Miller girl, even their packaging. So their packaging is recyclable. 70%, some of their packaging is 70% recyclable. Their dust bags, they don't longer use plastic filling. They use recycled paper. Some of their packaging is 100%.
As I'd expect. You can't be like philanthropy and billionaire. Is she a billionaire? Are they a billionaire? Like,
it's again. So the Tory Burch Foundation is super interesting, and that's the article I sent you on LinkedIn, and it has its whole website. And I did always wonder where that logo came from. It does feel very, very, but she says, this is really amazing what she says here. They want to support, so their mission is to increase women's economic power, so increase our buying power by investing into businesses that last. So she also, she wants to do it end to end, educate them, understand, create things that matter, create things that last.
She's really smart.
She's very, very, very smart. They have tools on how to build capital. So again,
Really
the lens that I thought was interesting for us, separate from this podcast that we could nerd out on, is just the resources she has right here. Tangible resources around raising capital, building a team, starting my business, operating your business, establishing your online presence. How do you get customers? How do you grow your business? What if you're lacking leadership skills? What about diversity and inclusion? You can click on any one of these.
Interesting.
And it's there. And there are articles. And she's funding it. So, like, it goes back to, I don't remember what brand we talked about when I said they're doing it really well end to end. Whether or not we believe the bullshit, but the integration of how they're communicating, where they're communicating, living, breathing.
They're clearly walking the talk, right?
So they're creating articles. Disability inclusion is everyone's business. Introduction to business accessibility. Advice on hiring disabled talent. Creating an inclusive workplace. Like, that's just one piece. She also is real smart. Like, in terms of not real smart with, like, surrounding yourself and leadership. Like, she's very smart emotionally in terms of all of the intangibles that make smart business people and good team leaders and good coaches and leaders. But she's also very smart in terms of business. So she's got this thing
balance.
this balance of the EQ and the IQ that I think has been incredibly interesting.
Fascinating.
In terms of her clothes, I own a pair of Tory Burch flats.
Not the Millers.
Not the Millers. They literally look like almost like a
Rothy's.
Like a house shoe. Like a leather Italian, almost like this.
Okay. Like a loafer.
Like a leather Italian loafer slipper with the tiny little thing. They travel great. They're what I call fast flats for the airport. Like, remember when we used to have to travel
100%.
back in the day with the heels and all the things and fucking be uncomfortable?
Swap between.
You got to put your fast flats on.
Yeah.
I have a pair of Tory Burch fast flats. And that's it. And I don't...
Is shoes really her bread and butter? Do you know, like, the primary...
She has really expanded.
Purses.
She has purses. Shoe accessories is where she does... I would say I would say accessories are what has the greatest legs in terms of reaching the people.
And I think it's underserved in the high fashion industry. I think
she calls herself high fashion, but I still don't see her as high fashion as like a Chanel.
No,
I think see her more in like the
Michael Kors.
Nope, I think a little higher than that.
Okay.
He's affordable fashion.
Yeah.
She's still luxury fashion.
Okay.
I think like Chanel. Let me think. Chanel from Big Luxury.
Chanel
She's like in the Shanola, Tory Burch, Vineyard Vines.
Oh, Vineyard Vines. But that's accessible easily. Like,
Vineyard Vines is the cheapest Vineyard Vine shirt for a men's dress shirt is $150.
$100.
It's not accessible. That's some people's entire clothing budget. $150 is not accessible.
Michael Kors is that.
You can get a Michael Kors up at the Marshalls for $60.
Well, Marshalls is a separate category.
Yeah, okay. I think Michael Kors is more affordable fashion. It is not quite high end.
Coach?
I would say that's more Michael Kors. I think she's one above.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. I'm just giving you a little bit.
But again, yes. I think yes. Good, better, best. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Chanel would be in terms of brand perception, or brand equity, not quality, not like straight like brand equity. Perception equity. I think that she has more equity in her brand in terms of high end than a Michael Kors, than a whatever.
Okay, gotcha. I got you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do.
She's more of in the Shinola.
They might have
Shinola.
the same. Yeah, they might have. But I think Shinola is not even running in the same circles as she is. I think they are like oddly different categories, different approaches to the market. I think she's doing Michael Kors-esque tactics.
Yes.
But to your point, has a little bit more brand integrity. I mean, she's privately owned. I think they sold out. I think they're part of like a bigger conglomerate.
This guy?
Michael Kors, I think is like a...
She sold shares and got her shares back.
Okay.
So that's interesting as well. She's completely self-funded. So this is what she said. And this is what I also think. I think she's a little better because, again, my perception is that she's built a company not just on products. She's built a company on a mission and values. I don't know what Michael Kors' mission, and I guess I haven't done the research either.
Right, yeah.
But just when I read about her before this, I had a general idea that this woman was well-rounded.
Agreed.
She says, when I started my company, supporting women wasn't part of my business plan. it was my business plan. I knew that business could be a powerful vehicle for change, and through the Tory Burch Foundation, we have supported thousands of women entrepreneurs with grants, low interest loans, education, and community. I think she breathes it. I think it's who she is. I think she was born with a silver spoon, and I think she continues to extend that silver spoon. She's doing the things.
Interesting.
I actually really like her fashion. Here's my deal. If I were to find, here's how I feel about any high-end fashion at this point in my life. Shoes are something I'm still willing to spend a significant amount of money on.
Yeah, because it affects major things.
Major things.
Comfort and sustainability, like resilience.
In order for me to buy a Tory Burch piece, because it's a piece, I would look at that as a piece. It is, investing in a $700-800 coat, that's expensive, right? It has to be incredibly, incredibly unique or so incredibly classic.
Oh, interesting. Two different spectrums there.
It has to be one or the other.
Yeah.
Because I can also buy unique for cheap at the Goodwill.
Right.
And I can also get classic for cheap at the Goodwill.
Right.
So if I'm buying something new and it's going to be that much of an investment, it's got to be unique
so perfect.
or classic. And I haven't seen anything in her collection outside of the shoes that I feel like is either so unique that it's a collection piece, like a piece of art we put in our house, or it's so classic that I have to have it or can't find it someplace else. And that's honestly where I'm falling with a lot of these high-end designers.
Yeah. Is that it's such a subjective choice of fashion and personality that it's really difficult to be that price point, that truly luxury price point for the regular person.
You really have to think about it, because an $800, we personally in my home are in a position where I could get the bag and probably the lake house. But we're also into a point in life where, like, my values are changing. Do I want the bag? Do I even care about the bag the way I used to care about? Or is it the lake house?
Yeah.
But also we're not off enough where I can just blow $800 on a bag every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can't.
And then
you have to
the
make
trade-offs
choices.
have to happen.
Yeah.
And for me, not only am I putting less emphasis on the value of putting my money in those things the way I used to.
But you'll do it for the right thing and the right reasons.
Yeah, and I just haven't found any. I think her things are nice, and I think they're beautiful, and I think they're elegant, and I think they're well made, and I like her company. But that price point for me, you better be
With the
fucking
style.
shitting out some fantastic stuff, or I'm not buying. I'm
But there's clearly people who do,
Her
because
things are beautiful.
she's done so well.
I mean, some of her things are. She has very beautiful classic things, and that's why I thought about that. It's a $200 little wallet. I can get that for $7.99. I'm a big fan of these guys. Might actually spend my money on them. So I'm going to buy something. I'm clicking to her. So I'm trying to find something a little unique.
Yeah, that's worth
and a little outrageous.
That you're really going to do
that
it.
I'm really going to, like, so those, to me, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they are outrageous.
They're outrageous.
But you will rock them.
Look at the fucking green ones. But then so again, where is she making her money? She does a lot in accessories. I'm learning that with everybody.
Yeah, okay.
They're accessorized. It's a full clothing line. So she has her runway line with her 7-minute fashion show that she does in New York. I don't know how long it is, 7 to 10 minutes. She also debuts in New York Fashion Week. That's where she always does her fashion show. That makes sense to me. She's from New York. She started the company in New York. Their handbags are also really practical. So I thought about those as well. Like, I'm finding some that, this is a really good crossbody bag. I'll show it to you. Like a really good crossbody. Practical. Again, $528. Like,
yeah, I think that's a lot.
it's a lot. And again, like, I would rather save my money and get a Chanel.
I was just going to say, I think you can almost get like a decent Gucci for that. It might be
This bag in
used,
Chanel
but-
right here would be $850 or $900. So I'm just going to get the Chanel.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But why? I don't know anything about Chanel's values. I don't know
Right.
anything about their film. She's doing all the right things.
Uh-huh.
Why am I not buying her stuff? But again,
Yeah.
it's also a little
Well,
bit Hampton-y to me. It's
Yeah.
also a little bit Vera, what do you call that? Lily Pulitzer-y.
And I feel like it's so logo forward without an otherwise distinction. The distinction is only
Like,
the
are
logo.
you Chanel? Like, are you Micro Coors? I don't really, this is, again,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying?
That would be my criticism, yes. Is
like,
that,
I don't, now we get into here, and I think this is where she does quite well. I think that's quite classy. I think it's beautiful. Again, right here, $428. I'm sorry, but I can get that
it's
from Marshall's.
A white
linen dress.
down linen dress, $428.
$428. She's got what she's called her ready-to-wear collection.
I saw that.
Her ready-wear collection is $498 for that fucking shit.
Jean
right
dress.
there. A dream dress.
The
So I just-
Abercrombie and Fitch is selling them for $98.
And the Goodwill has them for $7.99. And Heather Smith can make that too.
Yes, and Heather Smith can make
I
that.
can make that. So I don't love the product.
Yeah.
I love the brand.
Yeah.
I
What
love
she
Tory
stands for,
Burch.
how she got there.
I like how she got there. I love her Lover show. And I'm going to find something to keep forever
Uh-huh.
because I'm clinking to her.
Okay.
But her products don't really speak to me.
You know what? This is the thing, though.
It's so basic and so expensive. It's basic.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's so basic.
Basic. I came to the epiphany. She has 217 pairs of sandals. I mean, I think you should strap your ass into a pair of these fuckers. Moon boots.
Moon boots.
Oh, you can grow a whole inch or 5. The cheapest thing on our website are sandals. So
And they're still $300.
they're still $300. Also, I thought these were cute. These look a little like Jessica.
Oh, yeah, but those look like Birkenstocks to me. So that's why
Again, who are you?
Yeah.
So what is your?
What makes you unique?
It's so these are the Millers. So $198. So this is what I thought. I think these are cute. I think they're
I'm impressed by the brand story. I guess, like, for somebody who has been wealthy, comes from wealth, has maintained wealth.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta buy something.
Yeah, and I don't really give a lot of stock to that. Like, I love
Jean.
like an underdog story, you know? So she's got everything. She's married well. Like, she doesn't have to do it. She's doing it for the sake of philanthropy, for the sake of her own personal, like, the story is compelling. I will clink to that. I align with you. My perspective this whole time was that that it feels very Michael Korsy to me. That was how I also, though, felt that the logo also didn't mean anything. I'm compelled. I think it's really interesting. I want to see why other people love it. So
That's what I want. Okay, so that's my question. Do you have Tory Burch?
No, I'm putting it on my shopping list or my birthday list. My birthday's coming up.
I think you need to get some Millers. I like those black ones. Or some moon sandals.
And I'm kind of interested in getting something really funky.
Or funky.
Yeah,
Either
I'll go
outrageously funky or classically necessity.
Yeah. Like, if it's going to be a classic, I want to just be able to wear it to my chicken coop. Can I wear my Tory Burches to the chicken coop?
Yes, ma'am.
Why not?
You can do whatever you want. You should see the shit I've worn into a pig barn. It's your show, mama.
So
you wear your green sparkly sandals right out to that chicken coop.
Yeah, the things that I've worn into the chicken coop surprises me to this day. It's only been a year since we've had chickens, but I cannot believe.
My cousin told me yesterday she thought I was going to go to my other cousin's son's open house in my bird pajamas. She's like, you can't wear that. I'm like, why?
Oh, why?
So I think we clinked to Tory.
I'm clinging into Tory. I'm interested. I want feedback, like, the people who are passionate, who listen and, like, love Tory.
Also, be honest with us.
Tory Burch.
I think it's also belligerent to spend this much money
on something that's so average.
Yeah.
So we could be swayed. But we like the story.
We like the story. We
Right.
like Tory. We're clicking to Tory.
Let's click Tory. Cheers.
Tory Robinson Burch.
Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.